You know, I never thought I'd have to make a video like this where I flat out asked for Genji burst, but with how horrible he's felt through the numerous amount of hours I've put into him this season, I've realized that, yeah, okay, this hero actually needs a buff. He feels way too bad. He feels really inconsistent. And, you know, if you're playing him anywhere in basically diamond and above, everybody understands how to just counter Genji and play around him to the point where the hero just feels so irrelevant. And the other flankers that he's supposed to be competing with for a spot on that DPS role, they're all just much better than him in every single way, shape, and form. So before we talk about that in depth, I want to talk about how did we get here. Within Season 9, we had seen massive changes to the game where fundamentally we got a new DPS passive and we got some changes to the HP pool where everybody saw a genuine HP increase. Now, over time, throughout the Season 9, they did buff up a bunch of characters to give them more damage numbers. We saw Ana, Moira, Junkrat, Hanzo, Symmetra, Torbjorn, and a lot of other characters that I cannot remember on top of my head. They did see some number increases in order to feel better to play within the environment where HP pools are so high. Now, Genji is one of the characters that didn't actually get any number changes. All he got was a Dragonblade swing speed increase. Now, this is commonly being debated that this is a buff or a net nerf, and I already did a video previously where I spoke about the fact that this is a net nerf. In recency, there was a video that was made by Necros where he also spoke about how basically Dragonblade has been net nerfed, and now again another amazing Genji content creator by the name of 𝐒𝐿𝐄 made a video where he talked about that yes, Genji has been net nerfed and it just really sucks to play him and it feels like you cannot do anything with him unless you're riding off, you know, the back of your teammates really either throwing as much resources into you as possible, or you are basically riding off of their success and you by yourself cannot do any playmaking. So that is the fundamental problem with Genji. Is he's struggling in this new big HP pool environment. He is all about securing kills on low HP targets. However, he by himself is not doing enough damage. Again, something to understand is that when Genji started, his starting damage was at 28. Then they moved it up to 30 when he got his first buffs ever, and 30 was a bit too much. They brought it down to 29, and then they pushed it all the way down to, if I'm not mistaken, it is the lowest that it's ever been at 27. Now, 27 was for accounting for the fact that Genji was playing in the, you know, HP pools of everybody having about 200 HP and tanks having about 500, you know, ish HP, around that range. Now, with everybody's HP pools going up, a lot of tanks have seen certain amounts of armor increases, which just de-incentivizes Genji trying to fight them because it just feels like you're doing nothing against them. So you're like, okay, well, with Genji, I should be trying to flank and I should be trying to fight the squishes within the game. Well, because the HP pools have gotten so big on the squishes anyway, like 250 per character is a lot to deal with when you're a flanker, by the way, and you don't have consistent burst damage, and your burst damage is divided between 3 different projectiles that must hit to do full value damage. Yeah, then the character begins to feel like he's really bad. Now, where was the actual strength of Genji used to be? Well, again, Genji's strength used to be within the confinement of a combo known as Nanoblade. Ana would enable Genji's Dragonblade to do a slash dash combo in order to secure a kill. Alec Dawson had revealed that this was a problem that they wanted to deal with, and they were able to deal with it with the way that they changed up the game with the HP pools and the way that has changed, and to compensate Genji, because they probably realized that his Dragonblade isn't doing that much against 250 HP targets, you know, like all these different 250 HP targets. It's probably a better idea to increase the swing speed. Now, the swing speed is completely messed up, a lot of muscle memory, a lot of different combos and everything. And again, like I said, I spoke about this in a previous video, so I'm not going to dig way too deep into Dragonblade over here. I spoke about it earlier in a video called The Weird State of Genji, so do go watch that if you want to check it out. However, the biggest problem with Genji that he very much needs a buff in is his mid-fight, his neutral, the ability, like, you know, like his ability to do damage when he's up in your face. That is where he needs help the most. Whether they want to buff his melee, whether they want to give him more shuriken damage, it is high time that he needs it. I actually fundamentally believe that he genuinely needs 28 to 29 DPS shurikens. You know, why? Because again, the HP pools overall in the game have gone up, and Genji is a character that's not been compensated for. Alternatively, if they don't want to put the power in shurikens because they're scared that he might become too good, well, they could put power in his melee. They could increase the melee it does, or the melee can apply bleed. Another way that they could do this as well is they could apply bleed on his dash. I don't think that would be broken. I think the little bleed coming in from the dash along with him doing combos would be an effective way for him to get the same DPS that he used to get on the previous patch, they kind of did something like this for Roadhog as well, where to allow him to have a one-shot, they gave you an extra step that, okay, well, put down the trap, hook somebody, pull them into the trap, walk up, press left click, and then a melee, and then you're able to one-shot that target. Even though Hawk can actually one-shot without it in certain scenarios, at least from when I've been playing Roadhog. But my point basically is that we're trying to give Genji something where it will allow him to be able to do that same form of burst damage and apply pressure against the enemy team, because right now he really is a character that just doesn't do anything. He doesn't feel like a threat. I mean, compare him to what Sombra and Tracer. I mean, Tracer is the best DPS in the game. I don't think I need to tell you guys why Tracer is the strongest DPS on this new patch for a while now. Like, she's been strong since the initial Season 9 patch, and even now post Season 9, she's the best DPS in the game. Sombra has been on the rise. Sombra, I've been saying it for a while now that Sombra, especially after the rework, has been really underrated. Sombra's ability to isolate supports and just instantly delete them with her combos. You don't even need to do hack and virus. If you understand how to do virus into your left clicks, you can delete a lot of targets without needing the full combo. So that's two characters he's competing with, and both of them are much better than him. Both of them are much more consistent and also have better ultimates than him. Dragonblade already feels really bad unless it gets enabled by a nano boost or a Mercy's damage boost. Now, both Ana and Mercy feel really bad and in the current patch, and both of them are not seeing that much play. So the Genji doesn't really have anything going for himself. Like, the fact that he has to rely on other heroes to make himself be good already says a lot about the state of the hero. Not to mention the fact that, where do I even go with this? There's so much to talk about. Not to mention the fact that if you do want to see from the burst damage POV and not the flanking POV, 𝐒𝐂 is a much better character who does have flanking options, and with Venture coming into the game, Venture is also just going to be yet another character who's just a much better, much more consistent Genji, who also has a two-shot combo on their ultimate, by the way. Like, irregardless of how the ultimate is used, if Venture lands that ultimate 2 times in a row, like this, like the first burst damage and the second damage, the character is deleted. Genji cannot even do that with 2 slices. Like, the character still lives with 1 HP, and Venture can do this at a relatively safe distance. Genji has to get up in your face to do that, and you can interact with them, and it's just ridiculous, okay? Genji needs a lot of help. They found a way to nerf Nanoblade. They found a way to, mess around with the time to kill within the game. But if they're going to be giving out these compensation changes to characters to help them feel better, well, it's high time that Genji gets it too, because he feels utterly bad in the current state of the game. The way I see it is I would just increase his shuriken damage to 28 and see how it goes. If he still feels bad, if he's still not that good, increase it to 29 and then leave him alone. Don't overcomplicate him with these, even though I did suggest it, because I think it would be a cool idea, and we already have so many different ways to cleanse in this game. Zarya's Bubbles, Kiriko's Suzu, Life Weaver's Pull, etc., etc. Moira is also very strong. She also got a flat out damage buff, so Genji wouldn't even be that good, even if they did give him the bleed effect. It would just help him out with his overall ability to apply his own damage, so that his own ability to duel other targets gets better. Genji is a very high skill ceiling, very low reward hero right now, and it should never ever be like that. Imagine if Tracer was in that scenario as well. If Tracer was this high skill ceiling character, but she just didn't do anything. It just doesn't feel right. It doesn't feel right for some of these characters to be left in the state that they're in. And at the moment, one of those characters is Genji. Another one of those characters that I spoke about in one of my videos from a month ago almost is Reinhardt. And when characters like Genji and Reinhardt begin to feel bad, when they feel bad in the current state of the game, you as a balance team really need to sit down and think that, okay, maybe something that we're doing is beginning to feel out of place. Genji is a fan favorite character. It was revealed by Jeff Kaplan as well that he is by far the most popular character, right next to Mercy. And then there's a big drop off in like fan numbers, and then there's like the rest of the heroes and their fan bases. But Genji and Mercy are by far the most popular heroes. So a fan favorite character like Genji should never ever be left in a state where he's so terrible to play. Now, one of the most common arguments that's used that, well, Genji shouldn't ever be allowed to be good because he pub stomps low elo players. My guy, to anybody who says that, doesn't matter who you are, whether you're on the forums, whether you're on the Reddits, I don't care. Genji, any hero can pub stomp low elo lobbies because it is just that. In fact, watch this gameplay over here. I was playing Genji in this competitive game with my friend. He's a low elo player, so I jumped up on a alternative account to play with them. And I was like, you know what? everybody says Genji's a pump stomper. I can't really pump stomp right now because, you know, they're playing all these beam characters, whatever. You know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to prove my point that you can pump stomp these lobbies with any hero. So here I am picking Widowmaker, and I'm not the best Widowmaker in the world, okay? I don't land consistent headshots, but I can do the bare minimum on Widowmaker and turn this game around. And I could do the same thing if I, you know, picked Hanzo. I did pick Hanzo later into the game. You'll probably see it in the footage before you at some point. And I was able to do so much. So my point is that if the general player who's playing the game is good at playing the game, you should probably reward them. And of course, this should be for characters that are in that area where it is a high skill ceiling character. I'm not saying that, oh, if you play Bastion, you deserve to pop stomp lobbies, even though Bastion and low elo does pop stomp lobbies. But where's his nerfs? Why isn't he feeling like shit, right? Because the difference is that when you go higher up, Bastion sees a massive drop off because people understand how to play against the Bastion. Oh, Bastion pressure shift. Okay, well, everybody, let's just kite, wait it out. And then let's just jump on the Bastion, delete him. He's a massive hitbox with 300 HP. Oh, well, I don't know what his new HP value is, 350, I think, or whatever. But point is that he's so easy to shoot. He's so easy to delete. Even sometimes with the poke comp, with poke characters like Hanzo, Ashe, or even Echo, you can just easily get rid of the Bastion and then move on. Or you could coordinate a dive on and move on. The thing is, Bastion is, quote-unquote, an easy hero to play. So it makes sense that the higher up you go, the higher skill ceiling characters should be the ones that you should default to. Now, one of those characters is Genji. Genji is not easy to play. He has 3 different projectiles that he needs to hit. He needs to land full combos repeatedly in order to do any good burst damage. In fact, in the video that 𝐒𝐿𝐄 made, where he talked about the state of Genji, he did 3 perfect combos onto a Tracer, and he couldn't secure a kill on her. We've reached that point in the game right now where that's how pathetic Genji is he doesn't even do enough damage to kill a 175 HP target, even with his combos being done in rapid succession. I'll probably play the clip somewhere on the screen so you'll see it before you. And, you know, credit to 𝐒𝐿𝐄, like, you know, I just want to showcase it to the people because obviously I don't have footage of me comboing Tracers like that. But that's basically my point, is Genji is just bad and he desperately needs help. And I would really love to hear your guys' takes down below. What way would you buff Genji? Remember, we're not trying to overbuff him. We're trying to, you know, just make him feel a little bit better. I would say start with the shurikens, leave Dragonblade alone for a little bit. Stop worrying about that as a hero fantasy concept. Play into his mid-fight. That's what everybody enjoys about him more anyway. Of course, Dragonblade is flashy and everything, but I would say give more power in the shurikens, and then let's see where Genji goes from there. Let's start with 28 DPS shurikens or 29 DPS shurikens, and let's go from there. Everybody, that's going to be it for this video. If you want to support the channel for free, do hit like and subscribe. That means a lot to me. And if you want to support me financially, then all you need to do is use the super chat feature, and, well, that's how you support me financially. With that being said, I will see you in the next video.